Hi YouTube, it's Johnny. I'm going to do a tag that was been going around in BookTube. I'm going to do this tag tonight because I want to get these books down into the lower level. I'm tired of looking at them. This tag I came across in Strip Cover Lit, and I wrote it down in my live journal, Crooked Fingers, and I copied it off to put into my paper diary, and this is what I have. By the bet questions, what this tag is supposed to be is that one goes through each letter of the alphabet and then state what that letter means to one's BookTube channel. If, for example, one was to say A stands for the 17th century English Puritan Isaac Ambrose, my viewers could agree with me that my BookTube channel does in fact present videos on English Puritanism, or disagree and state in a comment that my BookTube channel does not have content on 17th century English Puritanism. Now that's what I listened to Strip Cover Lit, and that's how he explained the tag. Now, from watching other booktubers, they don't really follow this format, but I did, so here we go. So as I said, A is Isaac Ambrose. I showed that to you just this morning. Isaac Ambrose, 17th century English Puritanism, his book Looking Unto Jesus. B is for D.C. Boyle. I have many of his writings, short stories, novels, but this is one of my favorite, The Tortilla Curtain by D.C. Boyle. C stands for St. John of the Cross, Mystical Theology. I've shown that many times. D stands for The Devil, The Liar, The Deceiver, Spiritual Warfare. And next to my Isaac Ambrose, Looking Into Jesus, was his another Puritan reprint, Christian Warrior, Wrestling with Sin, Satan, the World, and the Flesh by Isaac Ambrose, who lived from 1592 and died in 1664. So then you have E, stands for Ralph Waldo Emerson. This is one of my favorite books. I read Emerson all the time. These are his essays and lectures in Library of America edition. As I've mentioned and shown in past videos, I am a student of American Transcendentalism, Henry Thoreau, Emerson, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Herman Melville, Emily Dickinson, Walt Whitman. F stands for False Doctrine. I'm always talking about true doctrine and false doctrine. G stands for God, the Trinity. I'm always talking about God in my videos. H stands for Heaven and Hell, the eternal state. I stands for the interior life. J stands for James Joyce. I've always shown you my James Joyce collection, and Ulysses and Fannigan's Wake and The Dubliners and Artist as a Young Man. K stands for Jack Kerouac, Spontaneous Prose, his very famous novel On the Road. L stands for The Love of God. M stands for music. I'm always talking about music. I collect music as much as I do books. N stands for nothingness. I'm really into nothingness. O stands for Joyce Carol Oates. This is one of her novels. I have like 40 of her novels. This is one of her earlier ones. Them, Joyce Carol Oates. This one was published in 1969. So O was Joyce Carol Oates, one of my favorite American writers. P stands for the Apostle Paul, Pauline theology. Q stands for the contemplative life. I like living a contemplative life. Now, I wouldn't say I'm a strictly contemplative person because I'm middle class, I'm white, I'm married, I have children, grandchildren, I listen to music, I eat hamburgers and hot dogs, things like that. R stands for Protestant Reformation. I'm a child of the Protestant Reformation. I'm an evangelical Calvinist. S stands for spirituality, biblical spirituality. T stands for the music group Thou, which was in that video I made recently of Cora, and we were over at our son's Caleb's house, and you could hear music in the background. That was the group Thou. U stands for John Updike, who's one of my favorite writers. He wrote short stories, he wrote essays, he wrote criticism, he wrote on art, he wrote an autobiography, and this is one of his books, Hugging the Shore, Essays and Criticism by John Updike. There's an early picture of him. This one came out in 1984. I have this one out because I wanted to read his essays on Henry Green, which I just showed you. Introduction to 3 novels by Henry Green. So that's why I got this out, because I've been reading the novels of Henry Green. V stands for video, BookTube. I've been making videos for about many years, but not BookTube. I've only been BookTube about 3 years. I made about 1,000 videos. I make videos, as I said in the beginning, because of the show Christian books, but also the show that my love for literature, for language, words. But I didn't see any Christian bookworms in BookTube or anybody who was unashamedly professing Christian. They were always kind of embarrassed if they showed a Bible or some religious book. They all had a sheepish look on their face. I make no bones that I'm a Christian and that I love the Lord Jesus Christ. So W stands for Wasteland, which one of my favorite poems is by T.S. Eliot, The Wasteland. I'll just read a little bit of it here. The Wasteland, Section 1, The Burial of the Dead. April is the cruelest month, breeding, lilacs out of the dead land mixing, memory and desire stirring, dull roots with spring rain. Winter kept us warm, covering, earth in forgetful snow, feeding, a little life with dried tubers, summer surprises coming over the Sternbergese. With a shower of rain, we stopped in the colonnade and went on in sunlight into the Hofgarten and drank coffee and talked for an hour. That's how it goes. Anyway, that's one of my favorite poems. It goes on and on. The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot. I'm not really good at reading poetry. I like poetry, but I'm terrible at reading poetry, so I'm not going to torture you guys me reading any more of T.S. Eliot's famous poem, The Wasteland. X stands for rated, X-rated, censorship. I'm against censorship. Now, I know I'm a Christian, but I think that there should be free speech, and nobody should be, I'm a Christian, I should be able to share what I believe, and an atheist should be able to share what they believe and have some kind of civilized dialogue. But this is a book I got last year on censorship. Girls Lean Back Everywhere, The Law of Obscenity and the Assault on Genius by Edward D. Garzalia. And this looked at all the landmark cases on obscenity. D.H. Lawrence, William Burroughs, Allen Ginsberg, Lenny Bruce, James Joyce, Theodore Dreiser, Thomas Mann, Elman Wilson, Virginia Woolf, Norman Mailer, all had their writings considered X-rated. Y, the letter Y is Ob. Ob is one of my favorite music groups, kind of heavy rock metal. And Z stands for Zola. This is one of my favorite novels by Zola, is Nana. I forgot H. Anyway, I put Heaven and Hell, but I also could use Hunter S. Thompson, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, A Savage Journey to the Heart of the American Dream. These are one of my favorite novels by Hunter S. Thompson. And like I said, T.C. Boyle, James Joyce, Joyce Carol Oates, Updike, Emerson. All these writers are mentioned in my BookTube videos over the years, along with English Puritanism and poetry and literary criticism. And I've mentioned Allen Ginsberg, D.H. Lawrence, Henry Miller. I've mentioned Thomas Mann, Nabokov, Lolita. I've mentioned William Burroughs. I've mentioned Lenny Bruce. I've shown these books over the years. And I think that we should read them, but also with a critical mind, that there is such thing as bad literature. But once again, how do you set a criteria up? That's something that society has to be in constant debate about and discussion, that is civilized. But I like Emerson. I like his essay here on nature. It's one of my favorite essays by Ralph Waldo Emerson. I like his essay on the poet. I'm just always reading Emerson. So that's the by the bet questions. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So I didn't say what day it is. It is March the 8th. It's a Friday. It is 6:45 in the evening here in West Michigan. I don't feel well. I'm kind of sick to my stomach. I got the chills. I don't know. My stomach is rumbling. Maybe you can hear it. I think I drank some bad apple cider. I think that's what it is. Sometimes apple cider upsets my stomach. I don't know why. So yeah, my wife called. She did get her cell phone. I sent it overnight express. She got it around 3 o'clock there in Washington. So now she feels connected to the world. I don't have a cell phone. I don't know how to use a cell phone. I rarely talk on the land phone. I don't Skype. I write in my diary. I write my online diaries. I make BookTube videos. And I talk to nothingness. So I hope that you're having a good Friday. Thank you for the comments. And I do have a stack of used books. I got at thrift stores. Today I volunteered at the Book Nook, the library used bookstore. I got one book. But I've gone to local thrift stores and I got a stack of... So I'll do thrift store used book haul, maybe tomorrow evening. I did get a book in the mail today too that I'll show you guys. Those who are really into Pauline theology, the theology of the New Testament Apostle Paul. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'll sign off. I hope that you had a good day, that you have a good weekend. And yeah, until next time, bye.